What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Beautiful Monday. Glad to have you back. Now, before I get started, obviously some explanations are in order, and let me just go through that really quickly. It's sort of a recap over the past few months. The last time you probably saw me, you kind of noticed that I was kind of petering out, energy was kind of dwindling, and that's because I'm a human being, and as a human being, my energy goes up and then down and then up and down again, and sometimes it goes into a really low. And at the time, I had 2 jobs, and I had this as a project, and I had so many other things. I had just gotten into a relationship, and that was just getting going. So all these different things were pressing down on me and sort of adding to the pressure, to the weight that I had to carry. So over time, something had to give, and unfortunately, it was this. But after a while, I've cleared up a lot of those things. I no longer work to those 2 jobs. I'm in a completely different place now, working for a friend of mine, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It allows me to have the time to do this as part of my day. And my relationship has blossomed, and it's now at a place where we are very productive. Not to say that it doesn't have its challenges. I think every relationship, just like every person, has its energetic waxing and waning, the ebb and flow. So the same thing happens there, and sometimes it can definitely rob me of some energy, but at the same time it can be very energetic and it can lift me up. But throughout that whole time, as I was going through that personal hell, not to be too dramatic, what it felt like was that I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake the idea that I was just missing out on being able to share a lot of this information with you guys. And I just felt that it was absolutely critical that if you're going to go into the gym and you're going to train, which is what I'm doing, for those of you that know and have seen, you'll know that I just got my NASM certification, so I'm legit now. For those of you who want to train, it's not just about going into the weight room and picking up a bunch of weights. A lot of it has to do with what goes on in your head. Before I get into the main part, the meat of this video, I just wanted to cover that I was going through my own sort of hell. It was, I guess you could say, it was a weight that I could not lift, and I had to go back in, recover, and realize what my weaknesses were, and then work my way out of it. Now, usually for most people, when they experience hell, they sort of cower and they fear the flames and the demons and all those things. But as I was battling through the flames and facing my own inner demons, I realized more and more that sometimes, practically all the time, the only way through, or the only way out of hell, is through it. And so I went through it. I found a great core of friends and people around me who were very supportive and who saw the best in me and insisted that I follow that path and push forward. And so I did, and now we're here. Which brings me to my topic for the day, which is that now when I got into creating Mindset Monday, I kind of got lost into the very esoteric, but the important thing to remember is that the things that go on in your head tie back into the things that go on with your body. These things both evolved together over the generations, over millions of years, so that we can navigate through the world. And we sort of take this weird sort of Cartesian approach of separating those 2 things because we feel that they're compartmentalized. The reality is these 2 parts evolved together to navigate through the world. And as such, you need to bring this into the gym as well. It's not just about banging weights and being as intense and as aggressive as possible, even though you definitely want to. But the part that's most critical is that you need to dedicate a certain focus and intensity in your training. What this means is, I notice sometimes that I'll drive by a big Globo gym, a 24-hour whatever, or an Equus something, and I'll notice that people will be watching the TV on the elliptical, they'll have their headphones, and they'll just kind of half-heartedly do the work. Now there are some people, when you scale up from that, who will kind of get into it, but they kind of complain and they piss and moan, and there's certainly not a shortage of that with the people that I've trained with and the people I've seen, and I do that every now and then. But the thing that you have to realize, and there's actually a little bit of research I've read about this, is that you're actually robbing yourself of a little more intensity and a little bit more energy that you could commit to the workout by focusing on the things outside of that workout that you have no control over. Now, I'm a big fan of ninja movies and Buddhists and these crazy personal control sort of methods that teach you to assert focus and control over your body. And so it's no mystery that I'm going to apply that to my training. And as such, I've realized that as I do that to myself, the more I notice that there's that much more horsepower that I can eke out of every workout or every training session or even everything that I learn throughout the day, throughout the course of my life, if I just commit myself fully to the workout. So even though you're thinking in the middle of your workout, ugh, this hurts, this is uncomfortable, this sucks, that's a given. Because as you're expanding your reality, you have to push past what is your comfort zone. And people take that for granted to think the comfort zone is this magical space where you just burst out of it and you're going to be okay and then you'll become this amazing person. But the thing is, the work that is required of you to get past that comfort zone means you actually have to take on some discomfort. And in order to do so, you just have to embrace the fact that as you move along, it's going to hurt, it's going to suck, sometimes it'll be cold, you're not going to be properly warmed up, and it's just not going to be the best time. But as you move past those pain points and you look back, you realize that those were references for you to look upon, so that when you look back and realize that you've improved, you can do the same thing moving forward. And that's what I've got to say about all that. So when you go in the gym, shut up, turn off the TV, turn off the headphones, unless you're just at that level where you're freaking awesome. You really need to focus, especially if you're just getting into the gym, getting into it. Especially as we're coming into the new year, there's a lot of people who are just kind of novices and intermediates and noobs and all that. Not to say that that's a bad thing, it's just a level in your development. Anyways, once again, this is Mark. For those of you that have forgotten, this is Mark from My Primal Being. As always, have fun, be safe, and peace out.